So we were discussing the tension in ACL on isometric contraction of the quadriceps muscle. So in complete knee extension, the tension in ACL is maximum. Suppose if the quadriceps muscle is contracting, isolated contraction of quadriceps muscle at 80 degrees. So what happens to the patellar tendon? Patellar tendon is it is parallel to the axis of the long axis of tibia. So the line of force of quadriceps muscle, as I have already told, the line of force of quadriceps muscle is always parallel to the patellar tendon. So as the knee is flexed, the patellar tendon, the angle of patellar tendon with long axis of tibia, it becomes parallel. So if the line of angle of attachment, that is attachment of the patellar tendon, if it becomes parallel to the tibia, then the line of force will also be, line of force of quadriceps muscle will also be parallel to the long axis of tibia. Now if the quadriceps muscle is contracting, so what will happen? It will compress the tibia with femur. Now if the quadriceps muscle is contracting in this direction, so because it is parallel to the tibia, so now this force will pull the tibia superiorly, and which will, so that now the strain on the ACL will not be more or greater. Previously the contraction of quadriceps muscle is pulling the tibia anteriorly. In extension, in complete extension, if the line of force of quadriceps, it closely opposes, that is first principle, it closely opposes the primary action of anterior cruciate ligament. If quadriceps muscle is contracting, the tibia is pulled and tension in ACL increases. That is in complete extension. So if we take the isolated contraction of quadriceps muscle in 80 degree of knee flexion, now the patellar, because the line of force of quadriceps is parallel with the patellar tendon, now the force generated by the quadriceps muscle will pull the tibia superiorly, that is towards the femur, and the tension in the ACL is less when compared to knee extension, position of knee extension. So in 80 degree flexion, you can see in the graph now. See in 80 degree, red line it is an isolated, it is a tension in the ACL during isolated submaximal contraction of quadriceps. If the quadriceps muscle is contracting isolated at 80 degrees, the tension in the ACL is almost zero. Clear? So at extension it is around 200 Newton, but in complete, that is in 80 degrees, it is almost zero. Tension in the ACL is almost zero. So what is the concluding statement is, you have to avoid the open kinematic exercises, especially open kinematic exercises. High sitting. Suppose high sitting, you should not give the quadriceps exercises in open kinematic, which will result in increased tension in the anterior cruciate ligament. So now when we talk about the hamstring muscles, so hamstring muscle is called as agonist for anterior cruciate ligament. Quadriceps muscle is called as an antagonist for ACL, and hamstring muscle is called as an agonist for anterior cruciate ligament. How? When the hamstring muscle is contracting, isolated contraction of hamstring muscles at 80 degrees, sin 80 is 94%. 94. So if the hamstring muscle is contracting alone in 80 degree of knee flexion, then the force generated by the hamstring muscle, 94% of the force generated by the hamstring muscle, now it will translate the tibia posteriorly. Clear? Are you clear? If at 80 degrees of knee flexion, if the hamstring muscle is contracting isolated, then 94% of the force generated by the hamstring muscle will translate the tibia posteriorly, which will unload the anterior cruciate ligament. Clear? So the quadriceps muscle will increase tension and hamstring muscle will reduce the tension of the newly reconstructed ACL graft. Clear? So now we will discuss the combined or a co-contraction of the quadriceps and hamstring muscles. So this blue line, it represents the co-contraction of the quadriceps and hamstring muscles. Now when you see here, that is from 30 to, so how you can activate co-contraction of both hamstrings and quadriceps? Closed kinematic exercises. And the closed kinematic exercises will co-contract the quadriceps muscle and hamstring muscles simultaneously. Open kinematic chain, open kinematic exercises, quadriceps muscle contracts isolated. Clear? Closed kinematic exercise, there is a co-contraction of the quadriceps muscle and the hamstring muscles. Okay? So when you take, that is at 20 to 30 degrees of knee flexion, the tension in the ACL is less when compared to the tension in ACL if isolated, if the quadriceps muscle is contracting alone. See, this red line is quadriceps alone, blue line is co-contraction of both hamstrings and quadriceps muscle. So in 20 to 30 degrees, the co-contraction, so what is happening? The quadriceps muscle is trying, when quadriceps muscle is contracting, it will try to pull the tibia anteriorly. Simultaneously, when hamstring muscle is contracting, it will try to translate the tibia posteriorly. Quadriceps muscle is translating the tibia anteriorly and hamstring muscle is translating the tibia posteriorly. If both the muscles are contracting simultaneously, then ultimately the tension in the ACL will be less when compared to the isolated contraction of the quadriceps alone. Because if quadriceps muscle is contracting alone, so there is only anterior translation of tibia. Clear? If quadriceps muscle and hamstring muscle is contracting simultaneously, then the tension in the ACL will be less when compared to the contraction, the tension in the ACL if quadriceps muscle is contracting alone. Clear? So what is the closing statement? Conclusion is, the co-activation of the quadriceps and hamstring, if you want to reduce the strain in the ACL, if you want to reduce the strain in the newly reconstructed ACL, then what you should do? You should co-activate the quadriceps and hamstring. You should co-activation of hamstrings and quadriceps simultaneously. Clear? Co-activation of quadriceps and hamstrings in knee flexion angles greater than 30 degrees. Clear? So after 30 degrees, you can see that this line is almost with the zero tension. Clear? So you have to contract co-activation of, that is closed kinematic exercises from 30 to 80 degrees are safe in the early stages of the reconstruction of ACL. And second is the magnitude of the quadriceps activation should be minimum. Previously we were discussing two-part principle. Clear? Second principle is the magnitude of the tension in the ACL is directly proportional to the magnitude of the quadriceps activation. Okay, that is second principle. So if the strength, if you give more resistance to the quadriceps, then there will be more translation of tibia. So you have to prevent vigorous quadriceps strengthening exercises in early stage of rehabilitation. Clear? If you give more resistance, there will be more translation and there will be more tension in the ACL. So you have to, initially you have to give less resistance, less resisted exercises for quadriceps muscle, so that the tension in the newly reconstructed graft will be minimum. So first is, you have to give close kinematic. You should not go for isolated. First point is, you should not go for isolated quadriceps exercises, because isolated quadriceps exercises will increase the tension in the ACL. Second is, you can give the exercises co-contraction, co-activation of quadriceps and hamstrings between 30 to 80 degrees of knee flexion. Co-contraction of quadriceps and hamstring muscle will reduce the tension in the ACL. So that is safest exercises in early stage of the reconstruction of the ACL graft. And third point is, the resistance should not be maximum. You should not give maximum resistance to the quadriceps. Minimum resistance, less tension in the ACL. Maximum resistance, more tension in the ACL. So you should avoid giving maximum resistance to the quadriceps muscle in early phase of rehabilitation of ACL injury.